Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Canisius courtside. Well, this is the big one. It's Canisius and St. Joe's. If you're a high school basketball fan in Western New York, this is a game, of course, that everyone has circled on his calendar. And alongside John Minogue, I am Nick DeLuca. And John, no bigger rivalry here in Western New York. This one should be a great one. We'll see if St. Joe's, who struggled of late, can keep up with this high-powered Canisius team. But either way, it's Canisius Joe's. It's the maroon and white versus the blue and gold, and this one's going to be a great one.
Exactly, Nick. You know, that's the only thing that really matters in this game. Like you said, a rivalry game. Anything can happen in a rivalry. Everyone's saying this Canisius team actually just came out a couple minutes ago that the Canisius high school team is #1 in Class A New York State rankings. And, you know, the St. Joe's team hasn't been doing so well, 5-6 this year. But a rivalry game, anything can happen. Anything. So, and I'm loving the atmosphere right now. We got plenty of Joe's fans, plenty of Canisius fans, plenty of Blue Crew. It's going to be a heck of a game.
This is a heck of an atmosphere, and a little bit about both teams. Canisius, a 9-1 record. Their only loss coming to St. Pius X in Atlanta over Christmas break. However, for St. Joe's, they have a 5-6 record and sort of have stumbled out of the gate, including 0-2 in league play, with a pretty ugly loss to Cardinal O'Hara, a 76-72 decision. And then their last game, they lose to Park 89-57. So hopefully for St. Joe's anyway, for their fans, hoping to see some improvement and maybe some inspired basketball when they come to Canisius here tonight.
Well, you know what? I feel like what's coming on right now is you asked me the question, John, what are the keys of the game here, right? What can Joe's do to compete with this Canisius high school team? And it's one of the biggest things. So we talk about Jack Capon a little bit, one of the players on Joe's, number 24. He's scoring around,
the big one.
He's scoring around 27.6, not around, he's scoring 27.6 points a game, folks.
Right, and that was something in talking to the Canisius players that they felt were one of the keys to the game for them. They felt like if Joe's is going to beat them, it was really going to be Capon, because he has been fantastic for them so far this season. Again, as you said, averaging 27 points a game and has scored 37 at some points this season and 26 again against a quality opponent in Park. And we'll see if they can contain him. That was priority #1 in talking to the Crusaders and Jace Johnson and Nick McDonald this morning. Now we will turn our attention to the national anthem and public address announcer, the great Bryce Hopkins. We will be with you once again momentarily for a great matchup, Canisius and St. Joe's. Game action in a moment. Again, the public address announcer, Bryce Hopkins, getting it going and getting the crowd fired up. So again, as we mentioned at the top, this might be a bit of an uphill battle for St. Joe's coming into this game at 5-6, 0-2 in league play. And they've struggled in recent history against Canisius. They've lost 23 of their last 31 against Canisius, dating back to 2004. So, Mr. John Minogue, what does St. Joe's need to do to shock the world and pull off the upset here tonight?
Well, like I said earlier, Jack Capin, number 24 on St. Joe's, he's going to be a huge part to this game. But what you and I talked about was Canisius is going to be really focused on making sure that they can cover Capin. So I think that for Joe's to win this game, they need to work the ball around a little bit. They can't just play the game through Capin because that's all that Canisius is going to attack tonight. So I'd like to see guys, especially Junior, who's following right behind Capin, well, not too closely, points-wise. The junior shooting guard, number 11, Will Ostrowski. Let's see him get in the game a little bit. We also have Kevin Duncan, number 10, getting in the game a little bit. So as long as they can work the ball out to their other players, I think we'll be fine. But once they start trying to play the game too much through Jack Capin, I think that's when we could see the game go downhill a little too much for the Marauders.
So certainly, of course, you're going to see them try and get the ball to Capin and attack with him early. It would be important if Durkin and Ostrowski can provide some secondary scoring. Durkin at 8 points a game this season, and Ostrowski a little over 8 points a game this season as well. But Capin, of course, with the overwhelming and gaudy numbers at 27.6 points a game and 8.5 rebounds. He's done a fantastic job for St. Joe's. But again, as we talk to the players this morning from Canisius, they feel like this is a play your game type of game. Try and ignore all the distractions of it being a big rivalry game. Ignore the crowd, ignoring, the fact that it is the rivalry game, and just going out and playing their game will lead them to victory here tonight.
Absolutely, and that's what Nick McDonald told me a little earlier in the school day today. We actually talked about it a little bit yesterday. Nick told me, he goes, it's us against ourselves tonight, especially because St. Joe's defense is averaging about 10 steals per game.
Right.
So it really is Canisius against themselves. Protect that ball. We haven't really talked too much about personnel yet because this team really is firing on all cylinders, no matter what player it may be. So one of the biggest keys for Canisius is hang on to the ball, get good ball movement, and high percentage shots all game.
If St. Joe's is to be successful here tonight, it would appear that the turnovers and the 10 steals a game that they do average and create would be a big part of a potential upset victory here tonight, as we're just about ready for tip-off. And the tip-off will go to Canisius. Connor McCaffrey gets the start here tonight. Jace Johnson not in the starting lineup. Don't know if that's more of a personnel move or discipline related. I assume it's just a personnel move.
I don't think it's discipline. He's a good guy.
He is. Austin James here early for Canisius. Inside to Ryan Bradley off the bucket, and no good. Rebound by Bradley, and he's good on the follow. Canisius a basket lead here early. You can see the emotions are running high. Bradley maybe a little bit too strong, a little bit too revved up on that last attempt, but was able to follow and finish. Here's a three-point attempt for St. Joe's from Alex Denable, and that one did not reach the rim, and the Blue Crew having some fun with that one. An air ball for Joe's here early. Connor McCaffrey running the point for Canisius. Defended by Jeremy Johnson. Picked up by Amari Gordon. Moves to Austin James. Kicks over to Bradley on the far wing. Bradley looks to drive off the glass and good.
Uh-oh.
And Canisius looks good early, getting Ryan Bradley involved.
Heating up.
Joe's on the other end. An errant pass from Jeremy Johnson. He was looking for Jack Capin, and who can blame him, but that one goes out of bounds. It'll be Canisius ball.
I think we've got some nerves on the Joe side. Even on the Canisius side, Ryan Bradley missing that opening layup, but there are definitely nerves on both sides of the ball right now.
You can tell there were nerves because Mark Simon, the St. Joe's head coach, has called a timeout early to try and settle down his Marauders. Only down 4-0 here with 6:49 to go in the first quarter, but you can tell, you can hear, you can just feel it on the St. Joe's end, sort of the nerves, the turnover here early, and the air ball to start. hopefully for them anyway, that Joe's can sort of get it calmed down and turn the ship around.
Right, and going back on that stress thing and just having all that pressure on you, that's what we were talking about with Jace before the game, and Nick was saying the same thing, and Connor was talking to me about it, although he didn't tell me he was going to start today, but Connor was saying close to the same thing, was it when you're playing against one of the biggest rivals at Canisius High School and have one of the largest crowds that you will ever have in a Canisius Joe's game, it can be nerve-wracking, and I think it's really setting in right now, but hopefully after a couple more possessions, we'll see that die off and we'll get to some football.
Think the advantage,
some basketball, excuse me.
And I think the advantage is, of course, with Canisius with such a veteran lineup, but St. Joe's maybe needs to handle this one a little bit better, and you know as well as I do, not having played basketball, me anyway, in this rivalry, but playing football, you can tell it's a different atmosphere when you put on the uniform when you're playing St. Joe's. Here's Austin James looking to create some offense on the far side. Finds Brendan Trapper, and McCaffrey looks to drive, passes back out to Austin James, got some room for three and nails it. 7-0 run for Canisius to open up the game. And St. Joe's looking for some answers, has already called a timeout, but surrendered another 3 points there. Here comes Kevin Durkin, and Jeremy Johnson thought about a shot. Step back shot, no good. It was too strong after he decided to take the shot. Long rebound, though, is chased down, and the shot is up and good for Jack Capon. We talked about him at the Open. Not only is he a great scorer, he's averaging close to 9 rebounds a game, an offensive rebound, and a score there to put St. Joe's on the board. McDonald finds Bradley now. Nice move and a fake, and goes up, but is fouled there by Jeremy Johnson. Bradley will go to the line and shoot 2.
I think we just got a little quick taste of Jack Capon and that move he had underneath the net. That was a mean spin move he put on a Canisius defender. I believe it was Brendan Trapper.
Was a bit of a fancy move. You can tell this is a dude who can score and score in a lot of ways. A nice rebound for him as well. Bradley's first free throw is up and good. Bradley averaging 10 points a game and 8 rebounds so far on the season. He's shooting free throws at about a 57% clip. He's 1 out of 2 here, as the second one is a bit too strong. St. Joe's takes over possession. Kevin Durkin to Jeremy Johnson. Canisius being a little bit aggressive on the defensive end with a trap move, and a shot is no good, too strong by Jack Capon, but he is fouled. And fouled in the act of shooting, so Capon will go to the line and be able to shoot 3 as he was behind the 3-point line and taking a 3-point attempt.
Of all the guys to give space on the 3-point line, Capon is not one of them.
Capon's first is no good, bit too strong. Again, the nerves. Capon, of course, a very good shooter and a very capable scorer, but that one was not particularly close.
No.
His second one is much better and in. Canisius by 5.5, a little over rather, 5.5 to go, 5:37. Capon's third is up and good, so Joe's has cut the Canisius lead in half here early. Canisius looking to create some offense through Austin James, who will move to the far wing to Ryan Bradley. Brendan Trapper now. Trapper, who is not particularly known for his scoring out of the center position, scored 12 points in the team's contest against Timon last time out last Wednesday. Ball movement by Canisius with 8 to shoot. Austin thought about a shot, will now drive up. Scoop layup, no good. Good defense by Joe's to press Canisius off the shot clock, and they will move in transition. Here comes Kevin Durkin now for St. Joe's, looking to direct traffic. Moves to Capon. Capon defended well by McCaffrey, but gets by, looks to drive, and we're going to get a foul called on the floor. It's on Canisius St. Joe's basketball. And the foul, a bit of a clutter there. We're going to see who that one was charged to. It was charged to McCaffrey. McCaffrey will check out, and Joe Jamison will check in. Jace Johnson, curiously, still
in his warm-up.
In his warm-up and is not checked in. We'll monitor that situation as the game progresses. Capin now looking to drive, and a nice move, no good though. A nice rebound, a nice strong rebound by Ryan Bradley for Canisius. He'll move in transition, stops his pass, gets deflected by Jeremy Johnson, a nice play, and St. Joe's will move in transition up. A nice pass and off the glass and in for Kevin Durkin. St. Joe's cuts it to 2 points. Austin James the other way trying to go up tempo, and he is fouled as he tried to go up, and it looks like Austin will go to the free throw line.
St. Joe's looking like they had kind of a slow start, but really starting to heat up a little bit.
You can tell that timeout by Coach Simon for St. Joe's really did what it was intended to do. St. Joe's looked nervous early. Simon knew it, knows his team, did a good job of calling the timeout when he did, and St. Joe's looks a little bit more competitive and a little bit back on track. Austin James' first free throw attempt is up and good. Austin scored 17 points last time out against Bishop Timon. His second free throw is no good. Rebound by Brendan Trapper, as he often does. A nice job on the offensive glass, but he can't finish. However, a nice pass from Austin James inside to Joe Jamison, but he got it swatted away, and Joe's will take back possession. And now we've got the ball on the floor as Jeremy Johnson almost turned it over, but a good job of recovery by Jack Capin, who got it stolen away. And here comes Canisius the other way with Nick McDonald. McDonald spots up, three-pointer, good!
Splash! Keenan Olesen is on the court. He is on the court. It's game time.
Transition three for McDonald, and here comes St. Joe's the other way. A pass inside and a foul called on Canisius. Durkin looked like he would have had a good look inside the paint, but he was fouled. So he will go to the line and shoot two. Durkin's first is up and good. Kevin Durkin, probably the second best player on the St. Joe's squad, averaging 8 points and 4 assists a game, as his second one is good. Austin James now for Canisius, finds Trapper in the corner. Now Bradley, who got it swatted away, but it's ruled that Jeremy Johnson got a little bit of arm on Ryan Bradley, and a foul is called on St. Joe's. And we get a "you can't do that," the first of the night from the Blue Crew.
Man, I love it. I love it.
Austin James now for Canisius, looking to build on this 4-point lead here early. Austin thought about a shot, but did not take it. Here's McDonald for three again, no good. It was a little bit too short, but a nice rebound again by Ryan Bradley. And now Austin James, a straight-on three, no good. But another rebound, and St. Joe's will come down with it. A good fight by Canisius, but St. Joe's comes away with it. Here comes Jack Capin the other way for St. Joe's. Capin looks to drive, and a traveling violation, and it'll be Canisius basketball.
You know, just watching this game a little bit, it seems like Canisius really has somewhat of a game plan going, and St. Joe's is really just passing the ball around the arc until they get a chance to drive. I mean, they got to put together a real game plan if they're planning to beat a team like Canisius.
And in talking to Nick McDonald, one of the things that they saw on film is McDonald got a three attempt, but he got it blocked, and here comes St. Joe's the other way. No, it's a ball on the ground. It's batted forward, and Joe Jamison's going to come away with it after all that. A couple of scrums and a couple of effort plays out to be made, and we're going to get a traveling violation on Austin James. It'll be St. Joe's basketball after all that. In talking to Nick McDonald before the game, he said that when St. Joe's has been successful this season, it's been their shooting that has really impressed him. He said not necessarily the teams are leaving them wide open, but they're just sometimes that they will catch fire and really be able to make some impressive shots. And I think that's what St. Joe's is going to need here tonight. And so far, anyway, after that timeout early, so good for St. Joe's. Jeremy Johnson, defended by John Evans, and he got it blocked. But Johnson recovers on a loose ball, no good, and his follow was no good as well. Another rebound by John Evans, who had an impressive outing last time against Timon. Austin James, near corner three, no good, but a nice rebound by Nick McDonald, looking to find some room now. Finds John Evans in the post on the near wing, and we'll get it back out to Austin James. Slow down the tempo a little bit. Just under 2 minutes to go. Canisius 12-8 here in the first quarter. Joe Jamieson now far wing. Defended. He kicks out to McDonald. A nice move, and McDonald is no good on the three, but a rebound by Jamieson. He'll go right back up and is fouled by Kevin Durkin in St. Joe's.
You know, we watched Canisius play Irondequoit a couple weeks back, and that was a fast-moving game. But this one, I mean, I can't even keep up. They're moving so quickly.
Right. You can tell that certainly the intensity is there and the willingness to dive and we've
really
seen a couple of loose balls. Here's Jamison's first free throw, no good. Joe at 83% this season off the bench.
It's like that scene from It's a Wonderful Life when everyone starts jumping through the gym floor into the pool. That's what it looks like here. Everyone diving on that ball.
Absolutely. There's
you know?
a lot of loose balls and a lot of diving. You can tell this is a Canisius Joe's game.
It's either that or a soccer game.
Well, it's a basketball game,
and they're diving. Get it?
I apologize to our listening audience for that corny joke. Jamison's good on his second. Oh, my. Here comes Durkin the other way for St. Joe's. Finds a little room, but is blocked by Bradley. But we're going to get a foul on the floor, I believe. It looks like it's coming up to Canisius. It's Ish Fairquell. Who had just checked in, his first and the team fourth. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, John Evans, who seems to be seeing a little bit more court here tonight, as his good defense leads to a St. Joe's turnover, an errant pass on the inbounds. John scored 10 points and 6 rebounds against Timon last Wednesday and really did a good job of fighting for loose balls, of getting good rebounds and going up and capitalizing on his opportunities. We'll see if he can bring that to the game here tonight. Austin James now for Canisius. Moves to Ish. And got it inside to Bradley, but we're going to get a foul called on St. Joe's. Bradley shot the ball after the whistle and really just shot it up there. More of a lob shot, and he got it to go in. Reaction from the crowd.
My goodness.
You can tell he's a great shooter. Bradley off the inbound from Jamieson finds Ish Fairclough in the far corner. Bradley thought about a shot, and a nice pass inside from Jamieson, but he could not finish. And there's John Evans cleaning up the garbage at the other end and up and in for 2.
Taking out the trash.
A nice job by Evans on the offensive glass. And Keith Norwood on the other end for St. Joe's commits a turnover. He stepped out of bounds. Canisius basketball. Canisius a 7-point lead, 15-8 with 1 minute exactly to go in the first quarter. Austin James looking to direct traffic and score for Canisius here. Moves to Ryan Bradley as Coach Husband barks out directions. Bradley inside, finds Ish Fairclough, drives baseline, no good. He was a bit too strong, and a rebound by St. Joe's and Keith Norwood, and we're going to get a foul called on Canisius. Connor McCaffrey will check in for Austin James, and it looks like Brendan Trapper will check in for Ryan Bradley.
Chase Johnson still in his warm-up.
Right, I'm not sure. Of course, I would have thought maybe they were giving McCaffrey a start. It's the St. Joe's game as a senior, maybe somebody who doesn't start as much. But now that Chase has been held out this entire first quarter, you ask whether it's possibly a disciplinary issue. We'll see. And at the other end, it is Jack Capon off the glass and good, and a foul. So an and one opportunity for Capon, who has certainly showed off his scoring ability here in this first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Capon shooting 1. And no good, a bit too strong.
I think the Joe's student section was a little confused as they all screamed as loud as they could while Capon was shooting the free throw.
Perhaps it distracted him. We'll see. We'll have to look into that, the Marauder rowdy conduct. But it looks like they didn't get the memo here. Ish Fairclough looking to create some offense. Canisius has the ball, and the shot clock turned off. Inside 10 seconds. But we're going to get a traveling violation charge to Joe Jamieson, so it looks like St. Joe's will instead get the last shot here in the first quarter with Canisius up 5. Jeremy Johnson inbounds to Capon. Defended by McCaffrey. Lost his dribble a little bit. He'll throw up a wild shot, and he got it to rim out and in. Rather, in and out.
Yes.
I apologize. That one did not go down. And at the end of the first quarter, Canisius a 5-point lead. It's 15-10. Early impressions, Mr. John Minogue.
This is what we've been talking about. It's a rivalry game, and anything can happen. And basketball especially, but all sports really, it's a momentum sport. So once you get that momentum rolling, once your team finally starts heating up, as you said earlier, that's what Nick McDonald's been saying about this St. Joe's team, that once they start heating up, they get dangerous. And like we're watching right now, they're starting to heat up, and they're in this game with Canisius right now, something that a lot of people didn't expect.
You can tell how well St. Joe's coach Mark Simon knows his team. A huge sort of call and turning point early in the game. Canisius firing on all cylinders early, firing on all cylinders, a 4-point lead, but they looked like they were in total control. St. Joe's looked a bit in disarray and looked like they were a little bit nervous coming in. A quick timeout by Coach Simon, and St. Joe's has really turned it around. Not that they're winning, but certainly staying competitive in this game, in a game that they're really not expected to win and really not expected to be close. This is, a 5-6 team against the number 1 team in New York State, and St. Joe's has held up in a rivalry game, of course, but very well here in the first quarter, only down 5.
Well, you talk about the experience and the skill of Coach Mark Simon. He is the winningest basketball coach at St. Joe's Collegiate Institute, and he broke that record back in 2015. So if that doesn't tell you, this guy's been here a while, and he knows what he's doing.
Just about ready for second quarter action. Jeremy Johnson, the inbound to Kevin Durkin. St. Joe's looking to cut into the Canisius 5-point lead. Johnson moves to Ostrowski. Now Durkin. And we're going to get an offensive foul here. Charged to St. Joe's.
Looks like it was a moving screen, I believe.
Trey Bowling is called for the violation. Nick McDonald the other way for Canisius, trying to set up the offense. Ish Fairclough. And Fairclough's pass is intercepted by Jeremy Johnson. He'll take it the other way for St. Joe's, defended by Ish. And Austin James for some help and a steal. Here comes Austin, who gets it stolen away by Durkin, who makes a nice save to Ostrowski. A nice job by Johnson there. Here's Jeremy Johnson the other way. Now a three-pointer is no good.
Air ball.
And here comes Nick McDonald the other way. Tried to find Austin James, but his pass was errant. And here comes St. Joe's the other way again. And another errant pass and another steal for Nick McDonald. And Brendan Trapper is going to come away with it as McDonald got it poked away. Looks like some nerves maybe returning here for the second quarter. Some sloppy play here early. But Canisius with the ball looking to score on offense. Ish Fairclough got fouled. And Canisius will keep possession. I can't keep up with this.
Nick, I know it's cold outside, but I figured it was warm enough in here that we wouldn't have any ice on the floor because people are tripping all over the place right now.
Got people on the floor, got so many turnovers. A bunch of guys really trying to maybe force some passes. And
yes.
I don't know, maybe the nerves returned or maybe it was just a sloppy sequence, but we had about 4 turnovers in a span of about 3 seconds or so. Here's Jeremy Johnson, a wide open layup. Canisius must have lost track of him there as he's up and in for an easy layup. A 3-point lead now for Canisius here in the second quarter. Ish Fairclough inside to John Evans. Beautiful dish, and Evans does the rest of the work. Nice pass by Ish, getting some more time with Jace Johnson. Not available, or not playing rather, here tonight so far. And here's a layup good from Trey Bowling. St. Joe's cuts it to 3 once again. Austin James now defended by Jeremy Johnson. Played good defense all night and has done some good job on made some good plays on the offensive end here early as well. Here's a shot by James, a three-pointer that was no good. A nice rebound by Brendan Trapper. He'll kick it out to Fairclough and Austin. A nice pass to John Evans, who's got his second bucket of the game. A couple of nice passes, and Evans has capitalized. And we're going to get a pass that is intercepted by Nick McDonald, but a foul called on Canisius prior to St. Joe's will keep the basketball. Trapper called for the foul. So we saw some sloppy play early. We saw it get cleaned up in the first quarter as Capon shoots 1 and 1, and now some sloppy play again.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very
sloppy.
Is there,
as Capon hits his first, is there a reason for that, or just
it's almost
coincidence?
Playing, yeah, it's almost playing at the beginning of the game again. You know, you got a little bit of a rest. Your body calmed down a little bit once you got into that waiting period between the first and the second quarter, and now those nerves are back.
Capon's second is no good. And Austin James will carry for Canisius. At the top of the key, here comes Ryan Bradley, and a jumper is good. Amari Gordon passes to Jeremy Johnson. Johnson hands to Kevin Durkin on a bit of a pick and roll look and moves to Ostrowski. Ostrowski drives and gets a friendly roll. Austin James the other way, a nice pass and a nice look, and here comes Joe Jamison, an easy layup. The passing for Canisius here early, they're putting on a clinic, a nice job of ball movement, and they've transitioned that ball movement into some easy buckets.
Yes, sir.
Durkin now an errant pass, intercepted by Austin James, and he'll move for Canisius in transition. Down the lane, he got fouled on the floor. And Austin will shoot 2. It is St. Joe's 8th team foul, so Canisius in the bonus. Austin's first is up and no good. And a rebound for St. Joe's. It was a 1 and 1. And a timeout is called on the floor by St. Joe's. Canisius 23, St. Joe's 17, 4:37 to go in the second quarter.
You know, the speed has not let up at all in this game. You know, at the beginning, you and I talked about the nerves and the hesitation and the stress even. But let's put all of that aside for a second and just focus on the speed of this game. Now, maybe it's a little sloppy because we have turnovers, but these guys have not lost energy. I don't know if it's motivation with the fact that there are so many fans here. This game may mean more to them, or maybe they just had a good breakfast this morning. But these guys are sprinting up and down the court nonstop. No one's resting. No one's tired. I can't believe, especially someone like Austin James, you know, coming down the court, stealing the ball, running it in transition all by himself, putting the ball up, coming back down, playing great defense. I am just amazed at the conditioning of both teams right now.
St. Joe's, I think it's safe to say, tonight at least, down by 6 here in the second quarter, is probably in a pretty good position. They would have signed up for this at the beginning of the game. They're certainly in it, and playing Canisius pretty tough. They don't really look like a 5-6 team that lost to Cardinal O'Hara earlier this season. And they've done a good job so far, but a steal by Joe Jamison. A nice save. What a job by Jamison, but the ball goes on the floor. Ostrowski comes away with it for St. Joe's, and Jamison, another steal, and this time Canisius is able to take advantage and move the other way. Ryan Bradley in transition, an open 3, good! Ryan Bradley hits from 3, a wide open transition 3. And Canisius opens up its largest lead of the game at 9 here in the second quarter. Durkin fumbled the ball a little bit, regained it, was defended by Jamison. And Jamison's gonna pick up a foul for reaching in.
I love the aggression by Joe Jamison, although maybe Coach Husband doesn't because he just took him out.
Jamison picks up the foul. That's Canisius' 8th team foul, so St. Joe's in the bonus, a 1 and 1. First shot, no good. Rebound for Canisius by Nick McDonald. Durkin, no good on the free throw attempt there. Here comes Ish Fairclough now playing as we have not seen Jace Johnson here well into the second quarter. We're not sure necessarily what that's about. Ish now Pass to Trapper, who's shot three-pointers better, but this time he's no good. A nice rebound by Ryan Bradley, and he's up off the glass and in. Great work by Bradley, and Canisius opens it up to 11 here in the second quarter. Here's a shot as St. Joe's goes the other way by Trey Bowling. He's fouled. And in the act of shooting, Bowling will shoot two.
Bradley had a smile on his face from ear to ear after getting down there and putting those points up on the board.
Bradley did a great job on the offensive boards. That's, of course, another thing that St. Joe's has to contend with, just how good Ryan Bradley has been this season rebounding. And just another example there. He did a great job of cleaning up the glass. The first free throw for Trey Bowling is good. The bank is open.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's about 8:05 right now. I didn't expect the bank to be open so late tonight. Jeez.
He banks the first one in and good. Here's the second for Bowling. And he's good as well. Didn't need the bank that time. His two free throws are good. Ish Fairclough now. Passes to Trapper and then to Austin James. Here comes Ryan Bradley in the lane. He got stripped but fouled. Bradley, of course, does a great job for Canisius offensively, averaging 10 points a game as he shoots again from the free throw line. Canisius, of course, still in the bonus, still shooting 1-1. Here comes Bradley's first. But Bradley also a presence as he makes his first. A presence on the glass, both offensive and defensive, does a great job with 7 rebounds, and about 3 of those a game are offensive rebounds, so he does a good job on the glass.
The guy just plays with such intensity on the boards. I mean, that ball goes up into the air. That's his ball. That's all he's worried about, is getting that ball when it's up in the air. I mean, he is just a beast on the boards.
Bradley's second rattles home. And Canisius has opened back up their 11-point lead here in the second quarter. St. Joe's looking to cut into their deficit in the Canisius lead. Here comes Kevin Durkin, guarded by Ish Fairclough. Moves to Gordon, now to Jack Capon. Capon defended by Trapper, looks to drive, but he got it stolen away by Ryan Bradley. Will outlet to Austin James as Canisius will move in transition. And a transition 3 attempt, and they left McDonald open, and that's something that St. Joe's doesn't want to do. Another 3 for McDonald here.
Splash.
Capon the other way, a transition 3, no good. Rebound, Ryan Bradley running the floor. Here comes Bradley down the lane, off the glass, and a beautiful spinning of the ball, and off the glass and in. And a 16-point lead has been opened up by Canisius. A bit of a run. Here comes St. Joe's the other way. Ostrowski off the glass and one.
Can we just go back and admire? Ryan Bradley came down the court with 4 defenders on top of him and put that layup up with ease.
What a play, and it was a great job. It was a bit of a spinning layup. You could see the ball spin. He didn't spin. Maybe I screwed that one up, but
he had a little bit of a spin there.
But the ball spin off the glass, and he did a great job of finding a way to get that one home, as Ostrowski is good from the line and completes the 3-point play. Here comes McCaffrey the other way for Canisius. 13-point lead for Canisius here with just a bit over 2 minutes to go in the first half. Ryan Bradley again off the glass and in, and he is really making his presence felt here in the first half. A great job by Bradley. We've seen him maybe sometimes not get as involved as he needs to be, but he's done a great job of getting involved and scoring here early. Jack Capon now, after a miss by St. Joe's and an offensive rebound. He gets blocked as he went up, but maybe a bit of a questionable foul called and assessed to Brendan Trapper. I'm not positive if that really was a foul. Looked like he got a lot of ball.
Yes, I agree. A whole lot of ball. But you know what? Can't catch everything.
Capon will shoot 2. Again, as we mentioned at the open, he is St. Joe's leading scorer as he makes his first. Capon averages close to 28 points a game and has scored a season high of 37 a couple of times. Capin's second one is good as well.
This Joe's student section is still making noise when their own team is shooting. I don't get it.
I can't explain that
it
one.
worked.
I don't
He made
know.
it.
Maybe they've never watched. Maybe Capin, that's by his request. I don't know.
Maybe
he shoots better with the pressure. A nice move and a crossover. Austin James hits the jump shot at about a 17-footer. Here comes St. Joe's the other way, and John Evans is going to get charged for a foul as Kevin Durkin looked to drive to the basket. Durkin will get 2 free throw attempts from the line.
I thought this was the Kennedy Fieldhouse, not Shea's Theater, with a little bit of acting going on there.
He definitely played it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Evans did. There was some contact, but a good job by Durkin as he makes his first to draw the foul, and emphasis on drawing the foul. Durkin's second one is good, cutting the Canisius lead to 13 with 1:20 to go in the first half. Austin James into the front court. Andrew Hartnett now in the game for Canisius as well. Here's an open 3 for Nick McDonald, and he's on fire here tonight. On the near corner, hits another one. Joe's the other way now, up and off the glass and good. Amari Gordon on that last shot make. Bradley thought about a 3, moves to Hartnett now. Looking to find Bradley, he does in the lane. Bradley a shot fake and a nice pass. Evans looked for a dunk but could not finish. St. Joe's the other way now. Here comes Durkin, he got it poked away by Evans, but it falls right to Will Ostrowski. Jack Capin now after the pass from Ostrowski, he's gonna drive on Bradley, a nice spin move, but he was rejected at the bucket, and Canisius can hold for the last shot here as the shot clock turned off.
I thought John Evans was going to throw down that dunk, DeLuca. Oh,
he was close. You know he wanted it. Timeout, Coach Husband and Canisius. 42-28. Canisius can hold for the last shot of the first half. So maybe some sloppy play and maybe some, especially out of Canisius, maybe not pulling away as quickly as they might have liked, but now Canisius looks to be in control of 14.
Absolutely, and I think the score really isn't an accurate representation of what's going on in front of us. Canisius is really starting to take over this game. I think it should be a little more of a deficit here for St. Joe's because, my goodness, they are heating up, and everybody's getting involved. You know, you got John Evans, who, I mean, I shouldn't say he's getting involved less than he usually is or more than he usually is because he had a heck of a game last game against Timon. But everybody's getting, spreading the love to each other, you know?
And we've seen that over as the season has progressed. The last game that Canisius played last week against Timon, they had 5 players in double figures. You can see that the progression and the ball movement has been much better and much improved since the team came back from Atlanta over Christmas break. Austin James here with 10 to go on the game clock. Shot clock again turned off. Canisius by 14. Nick McDonald looking to create some room for a shot. Here comes Ryan Bradley now through the lane. A nice shot, a wild one. No good, but a follow. And you can count it. Austin James hits it as the buzzer expires, and Canisius will run off the floor with a 44-28 lead.
So a lot of sad faces walking past us right now, Nick.
I would agree with you. And it looks like St. Joe's maybe threw close to everything that they had at the Canisius Crusaders, and maybe feel a little bit disheartened that now they're down 44-28 here at halftime, down 16.
I think they were thinking.
Because I thought they played a good.
Oh, I did too. Absolutely.
A good first quarter for sure. Kept it close. It was a 5-point game, and maybe Canisius feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Is this game going to end up being close? This isn't a game that we want to make close, and Canisius is pulled away.
Yeah, and you know what? I think there's something that we do need to recognize here, Nick. St. Joe's has been playing a pretty good game, but Jace Johnson hasn't stepped on the court. Your starting point guard has not stepped on the court yet today, and your team is still up, and they're doing fine right now. So I think if we add Jason to the equation, there would be no doubt that Canisius is taking this game over, even though right now I'm thinking that there's no doubt and they're going to start running away with it now.
So curious a bit to not see Johnson on the floor. We will have to maybe do some work and follow up as to why Johnson has not appeared. If it is a suspension, again, we don't want to speculate or for whatever reason, certainly.
But we have.
Well, we
already,
have, but it just doesn't, to me, make a ton of sense that, here, I'll get the official stats for you here. Jace Johnson is averaging 11 points a game and close to 8 rebounds and is probably their best defender. So I would think that maybe Jace would be playing at least sparingly. I don't think this is a personnel decision, but maybe I could be wrong. Generally, if something is going to happen where Jace would be allowed to play in this game, this would happen after halftime. So we will, again, follow up with the team and see what was going on. But regardless, Canisius a 16-point lead without Jace. So.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, I was a little bit distracted because St. Joe's over here with their student section was doing the driving the bus thing. I mean, hopefully they're driving the bus back to Canisius or back to St. Joe's because this game is pretty much almost over.
Kenmore Avenue, right?
Yeah, back to home on Kenmore. But no, I think that Jason's a good kid. We don't really see Jace getting in trouble or anything like that. I think as confident as the players were coming into the game, Nick McDonald, Jace was also telling us, we're going to do pretty well in this game. We're going to perform, and we're going to beat this team. And I think that confidence made its way over to Coach Husband, maybe thinking, hey, let's give Jace a little bit of a break here. He's been working hard. We're going to save him for later in the game if we need him. And it looks like for a little bit that maybe they were going to have to call him in, but as of what it's looking like right now, I think Jace is going to be comfortable sitting over there on the bench and getting rested for the next game coming up.
Right, for sure. And you and I both know Jace very well, and he's an ultimate competitor, but also a fantastic teammate. So
absolutely.
If that's a decision that Coach Husband made at the beginning of the game, Jace would be on board with it and would want to do what is best for the team if that's what Coach Husband felt was best for the team. Right. We'll have to see what goes on here.
Well, I was watching the national championship last night, and you saw that Jalen Hurts got called out of the game and was replaced. And I think
I'm not going to try and pronounce Tua's last name.
No, I'm so terrible at it. But Jalen Hurts was taken out, and I think that's an accurate representation of what we see from Jace today is what we saw in Jalen Hurts last night, which was very supportive and standing in the huddle and making sure that that everybody knew what was going on and what they had to get done. That's what we see from Jace all the time is that support, whether he be in the game or off the court, just supporting his team.
You can tell Jace is very into the game, even though he's on the bench. You can tell he's standing up and celebrating a little bit. He's liked a couple of the early threes from Nick McDonald.
Oh, man, who could not like those? My goodness, except for maybe these beautiful Joe's fans over
Maybe
here.
the Marauder Rowdies don't like the St. Joe's, or rather the Nick McDonald threes, but I think everybody else in the building does. A great shooting performance from Nick in the first half. So if you're St. Joe's now, down by 16, playing a team that presumably is better than you, 5-6 record, ugly loss to Cardinal O'Hara, what are you telling your guys, and how are you going to rally the troops in the second half?
Of course. Well, first of all, I just want to let everyone know who's listening right now. If you want to see the beautiful faces behind the beautiful voices that you are listening to, and you're not watching us on screen right now, you can head over to the Canisius High School website, go on the events page, and click on the YouTube streaming of this so you can look at our beautiful faces while we're talking. And then, of course, when the game is going on, you can watch that too. But the show's happening right now. As you can see, I am center screen and looking nice. I got my hair put together.
Of course, be forewarned that both of us have better faces for radio. So
yes,
that is part of the warning that we feel, the disclaimer that we should put out before you tune into our video portion of the broadcast as we get a visit from Mr. Blank behind us.
Right, of course. Back to your question, though. What am I telling my team in the locker room, being the St. Joe's coach right now, talking to my players? I say this a lot. Little Aaron Rodgers for you. Once again, I always bring it up because I love it. Relax. All right, let's relax a little bit, guys. Come on. We know that we can play with this team. Look at the first quarter.
Right.
We were in this game, and we still are somewhat in this game. We just have to continue playing our game plan. We saw the jumpiness, the constant turnovers. Coach Hop, you are in the shot. You're in the shot, Coach Hop. Coach Hop is still
Well,
in our shot right now, so you can't really see us anymore.
Perhaps,
but,
yes.
But like I'm saying, they started getting a little sloppy at the end of the game, turning the ball over. So they really got to be careful, take care of that ball, and perform like they did in that first quarter. Everyone's just got to calm down and stick to the game plan.
So I know that I rather said at the top, I was joking with John off camera before, that nobody should pay attention to anything else in Western New York basketball other than this game tonight.
Except for
I was joking, of course, and I saw it on Twitter that Center Court was covering the Timon and Park School game earlier tonight.
Yes.
So I joked. I said nobody should be focusing on that. Everybody should be focusing on Canisius St. Joe's, but we got a little bit of an upset tonight. Timon beats Park 56-55. Thank you for Coach Hop for stepping in our shot and then delivering us that news. So that's a bit of a shakeup. We thought originally that maybe Park would be probably the biggest challenger to Canisius in the Monsignor Martin, a team that has some good size. Of course, Noah Hutchins, we'll get into that when that game comes. It's relatively close, a couple of weeks down the road, but that's going to be one that we thought was going to be probably the biggest test for Canisius this season in league play. But a win for Timon, maybe Park isn't as strong as we originally thought. I don't know.
Right, well, like we've been talking about in this game, it's a momentum game, Nick. So Timon gets on a little bit of a run, Park's back on their heels, and they can't catch up. We see the Miami Dolphins beating the New England Patriots a couple weeks back. We see the Buffalo Bills really stomping on those Dolphins. So things change, and sometimes you don't get a real accurate representation of a competitor until you play against them themselves. It's hard to compare those matchups.
Right, and an underestimated aspect of teams playing other teams is the matchups themselves. I mean, certainly different teams can present different problems based on other teams' rosters. So maybe Canisius a good matchup to defeat Timon, whereas Park could present more problems to Canisius that maybe they couldn't present to Timon. Who knows?
Yes.
So we'll visit that certainly when we get there. But some big news in the Monsignor Martin Association elsewhere around the league as Timon has defeated Park 56-55 tonight. So back to our game as St. Joe's gets onto the floor. The officials have made their way out of the locker room as well. About a minute and a half till we get going in the third quarter in the second half. Canisius 44-28. Hopefully we can get maybe a little bit of a better game, a little more of a little bit closer score here in the second half. Maybe not necessarily as a Canisius broadcaster that we're rooting for St. Joe's.
No,
but we always root for a close game. Maybe St. Joe's can pick up their play in the second half and make this game a little bit more competitive. However, you know that maybe St. Joe's is overmatched in the first half. Maybe St. Joe's is overmatched in this game, but at the same time, it's a rivalry game, and you never know just what St. Joe's can pull out, and the effort that they can pull out in the second half to try and beat Canisius, a feat they haven't accomplished in a while and haven't had all that much success doing dating back, as we said earlier, to 2004.
Right, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Blank, as we get our waters delivered.
I think it is important, you and I have been talking about the whole time about this is a rivalry game and Joe's could, but it's also this is a rivalry game Canisius could.
Right.
And what really we could see here is an absolute domination in the second half. Do not let off the pedal. We played against St. Joe's a little while back in football, and that's what happened in that first game. We started to get going. Joe's pushed back a little bit. We got a little scared. And once we realized that we can really dominate and push over that team, we kept adding it on and adding it on. So it could go either way. Rivalry games can benefit either team, not just the underdog.
Right, for sure. And, certainly the fortunate part for Joe's is that there's no shortage of motivation. They're going to give Canisius their best shot. However, it's hard to catch in theory, superior opponent maybe playing in a bad game or taking you lightly when it's a rivalry game like this.
Right.
Canisius plays St. Joe's, and anytime Canisius, straps it up against St. Joe's or, ties the shoes, whatever you want to call it, whenever there is competition of any kind against St. Joe's, Canisius is going to bring forth its best effort too. So that makes upsets, of course, a little bit more challenging. But we'll see if St. Joe's can turn it around here in the second half as we get going. Connor McCaffrey will start for Canisius. Jace Johnson still on the bench, something we talked about at halftime. We will continue to monitor that situation. Ryan Bradley in the post. And a nice jump hook, but that one is a bit short, and we're going to get a foul on Bradley here early, St. Joe's basketball.
Foul is charged to Canisius number 25, Ryan Bradley, his first, team's first.
St. Joe's the other way now. Durkin, guarded by Austin James, passes to Johnson. Jeremy Johnson tried to shot fake and create a shot, but he could not find an opening. Jack Kappen now for St. Joe's, defended by McCaffrey, tries to drive. And a foul is called on Canisius. St. Joe's will keep possession. It was McCaffrey who was tabbed for the foul. Johnson, an attempt at an inbound. It's knocked away by Trapper, who will find Nick McDonald, and Canisius will move in transition. He finds Bradley, who thought about a shot, does not take it. Now McCaffrey finds McDonald just outside the three-point line, but he is fouled to reach in on Jeremy Johnson. Nick McDonald, the inbound to Bradley in the post. A nice move and a pass to Trapper, who could not finish, but he draws the foul, and Trapper will shoot two from the free throw line. Kevin Durkin is charged with the foul. Trapper will shoot two. His first is a bit too strong and no good. Trapper, as we mentioned, scored 12 points against Bishop Timon the last time out for Canisius last week, as his second one is a bit too strong and will rim out. He was also 2 of 3 from three-point range, which is something that we have not seen from Trapper in his career so far at Canisius, and expanding that shooting range to the three-point line is something that has been a welcome sight for Canisius. Austin James now on the near wing finds McCaffrey. Now to McDonald, who faked a shot inside to Bradley. A nice feed and off the glass and in. Ryan Bradley really doing a great job here in this game and continues his hot start here in the second half. Durkin moves to Jeremy Johnson, and his three-pointer is good. McCaffrey now the other way as Canisius moves in transition. Off the glass, no good, but Ryan Bradley, who else on the follow off the glass and good. Jeremy Johnson the other way. Pass inside, but it's blocked by Austin James. Bowling tried to go up and missed. Here comes Austin the other way, transition. Here's a little bit of a jump shot that'll rattle out, and St. Joe's will come the other way with Jeremy Johnson. Johnson moves into the front court. A nice no-look pass, but as Bowling went up, Ryan Bradley said no way, and a pretty aggressive and pretty hard block there out of bounds.
As you may have heard Coach Robbins behind us say, they don't have an answer for that guy. He's too big. Ryan Bradley is just an absolute dominant force here on the court.
He has done a great job for Canisius since transferring here last season. And you can see this year as Bowling hits his first. There was a foul called on that last play there. Perhaps we didn't announce that, I apologize. Second one from Bowling is good as well. But Bradley has just made such an impact, and you could see the growth even this year, just the scoring end. He's just been so dominant and such a reliable option to shoot and score, and a reliable option on the offensive end for Canisius, just to add to their arsenal of weapons. McDonald now, guarded by Johnson, moves to McCaffrey, who's got some room from three-point range.
Splash.
And he hits it. That's the first shot attempt for McCaffrey tonight, and he hits it from three. Capin now in the lane and is going to get fouled. His and one attempt did not fall. It went in and out. So Capin will shoot two.
I'm enjoying the show over to our left right now, Nick. We've got Keenan Olison and Jarrett Benton turning over at the Joe's fan section, and putting their fingers over their mouth saying, shh.
You know, they live for that moment to taunt the St. Joe's student section. Capen's first free throw is up and good. Joe Jamison will check in for Canisius. Connor McCaffrey, after making his first bucket of the night, a three-pointer, will check out. Capen's second is good. Got the friendly roll. 51-35, 5.5 to go in the third quarter. Canisius leads. Jamison moves to Austin James. On the far wing, now a pass to Jamison back, but Austin airmailed it, and it'll go out of bounds, a turnover for Canisius. St. Joe's trails by 16. A nice pass ahead to Durkin, guarded by Jamison. St. Joe's trails by 16, looking to cut into this deficit. A shot by Johnson, way short from the three-point line, but Ryan Bradley got the ball taken away. Bowling finds Durkin now, defended by Bradley. Bowling now in the lane, tried to make a pass, but he traveled before he got the pass away. It'll be Canisius basketball. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor. It's called by Canisius's Kyle Husband. And with exactly 5 minutes to go, it is 51-35. Canisius all over St. Joe's here in the third quarter.
Just like that, we've got a 16-point lead, and that's what I was saying. We've got that momentum that could go either way, whether it's Joe's coming out with some intensity or Canisius not taking their foot off the pedal. And that's what's been going on the ladder, you know.
A good job by Canisius, of course, and you wonder maybe a halftime you're up by, I think it was 14 at the time. Maybe they were up 16. I apologize, I don't remember. But Canisius, a double-digit lead at halftime. You wonder, does the team sort of take their foot off the gas? Is there a worry of a letdown? No such thing here. Canisius has played very well and kept up that intensity here 3 minutes into play in the second half.
Yeah, this is a Joe's game. This is a rivalry game, so usually you won't see as much of a let-up at the end of the game as you would, say, against a non-league opponent or even a league opponent that's not really a rival.
Right. That's the tough part, to sort of, you can't catch Canisius in a bad spot or in a trap game when it's a rivalry game as big as this one, and Canisius has certainly put on their show here tonight. Austin James now on offense. A nice pass inside for Brendan Trapper, who could not finish. And we're going to get a foul called here on who knows who. It's called on Canisius, I think. Yeah, it's on Canisius. Officials not totally clear on who that foul was. It was a bit tough to figure out. Regardless, it is St. Joe's basketball, and Jeremy Johnson into the front court, guarded by Austin James, as he has been all night. Johnson a few buckets, but has been kept relatively in check. We're going to get a foul called here on St. Joe's. It'll be Canisius basketball.
Offensive foul called on St. Joe's number 3, Trey Bowling.
Brendan Trapper will check out of the game. John Evans will check in. 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Canisius 51-35, they lead. And we still have not seen Chase Johnson. Austin James now passes to Jamison, who thought about a shot. Now passes back to Austin, but Austin's pass was intercepted. Jeremy Johnson the other way in transition for St. Joe's, but he lost his dribble. And they're going to say that it was also off of Austin James, and St. Joe's will keep possession. I don't know if that's right. Looks like Austin maybe poked that one away, and it went off of Johnson's knee and out of bounds.
I thought so.
Nonetheless, St. Joe's still with the basketball. Cooper got it intercepted by Bradley, but Bradley could not complete the process of the catch, as we see so often in the NFL. It'll go out of bounds.
Well, he didn't make a basketball move.
Well, St. Joe's will keep possession. Of course, we don't know what a catch is in the NFL either way.
No. I mean, I thought Calvin Benjamin had that catch in the back of the end zone against the Patriots. I'm still a little salty about that.
Who knows? I am too. St. Joe's basketball here on the far end of the court. Near end of the court, rather. Capin looks to create some offense. Durkin now inside to Bowling, but he dribbled one off his foot, but a good recovery by Cooper. Here's a shot, and no good. It was too strong from Jeremy Johnson.
Like a rocket, Joe Jamison is on the floor diving for the ball.
Jamison maybe does not score as much as, it's not as involved offensively as maybe he would if he were playing in a different system or at another school, but man, he brings it on the defensive end, and he is fun to watch defend, and he does a great job of moving the ball and defending. Here's Nick McDonald for three. He left him open again, and you know what happens there. McDonald hits another three.
I've got some advice for Joes. Don't leave that guy open anymore.
Canisius a 19-point lead now with just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Joe's looking to answer and cut into this deficit. Here comes Durkin in the lane. McDonald draws the charge, and it will be Canisius basketball, an offensive foul on Kevin Durkin.
Offensive foul called on St. Joe's number 10.
The Blue Crew loving that one as it was called. Maybe a little bit of a mild Blue Crew, as looks like Canisius is pulling away there, but here they come. Canisius on the other end. Jamison running the point, finds McDonald with a little bit of space. Now into John Evans in the post, and a nice job by John Evans, a nice turnaround post move. A little bit of a jump hook, and he gets it to go. Canisius now by 21 here in the third quarter. It has been all Canisius in this third quarter as they have extended their lead out of halftime. Durkin now for St. Joe's, defended by Austin James, and defended very well. Ostrowski, he gets blocked by Bradley, and up Durkin will go, but he got the ball taken away. It's going to be a foul called on Jamison, as some people thought that he got some ball, but a foul was called nonetheless. Jack Capin will shoot two. Capin's first is up and good. Capin's free throw is good there, and he scores his 12th point of the game. Capin, of course, came in to tonight's game averaging close to 28, but Canisius has done a good job defensively as he hits his second there. Austin James now moves to the front court. Inside to John Evans, and he finishes once again. John Evans making a big impact off the bench. St. Joe's the other way. Amari Gordon got his pass taken away by Joe Jamison. He's going to run the other way. Layup off the glass and good in transition. And a steal for Jamison opens up the lead even more. It's 60-37. Bowling the other way for St. Joe's. His shot too short. Canisius now in transition. Here comes Nick McDonald, who thought about a three, but will keep going. And we're going to get a jump ball called. Nick didn't stop, but you could tell he wanted to stop it. Maybe, perhaps, put up another three-pointer. He thought better of it, kept driving, and gets a jump ball, but St. Joe's will get the ball with the possession arrow. A timeout called by St. Joe's. 1:42 to go in the third. Canisius 60, St. Joe's 37.
Can we just go back and revisit that intercepted pass by Joe Jamison, one-handed, looking like Odell Beckham Jr. picking that one off?
Well, you and I, of course, both know that Joe has some good ball skills back from playing on the football field earlier.
Those were the days, right?
Year.
Before you and I were retired.
Those were the days. Obviously, we've transitioned into our careers in the media after illustrious football careers at Canisius High School. I think it's been a pretty smooth transition. I don't know about you. I've certainly enjoyed it.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And it's great. Coach Robbins isn't here to yell at us. You know, no Coach Close, no nothing. We can just sort of run our own show.
We have been yelled at a few times, though.
Well, the media life is just a little bit less stressful.
Of course.
Than Coach Robbins always breathing down your neck.
Watching film as a job, you know, all that stuff. It's much better than having people hopping on your back and yelling at you. Although I do miss those days.
Well, for sure.
You know, those were the days.
I miss the guys, and of course, but we certainly have the memories and the lifelong friendships that will last us. I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, all right. Wow, jeez. It's got really dark very quickly.
I apologize. Of course, I was talking about you. It's
back.
fantastic.
Can't take it back now.
It's really been the relationship that we've developed, in our short media careers that have really I've treasured more so than anything we developed playing football. It's the Blue Crew. Maybe calls an early end of this game. It's all over chant.
We got a minute 40 left.
A minute 40 to go in the third quarter. Jeremy Johnson, maybe he has something to say about that. He hits his first free throw. Cuts the lead to 22 for Canisius, 60-38. Ryan Bradley with the rebound as Johnson misses his second. Here comes Canisius the other way. A nice pass inside, and John Evans is all over this game and all over the floor. Another bucket for him off the bench, and he continues his hot streak after playing really well against Timon. He continues it here. A nice pass there from Bradley as well. Here comes Ryan Bradley after just like football, Chan. I love it. I love it. Here comes John Evans in the post again.
Wow,
but he couldn't finish. But Ryan Bradley, the follow, no good. John Evans, another shot at it, and no good as well. Capon comes down with the rebound for St. Joe's, moves in transition. Capon looks to draw a foul, gets none, but off the glass and good, nonetheless. McDonald the other way in transition for Canisius, finds Austin, who's got some room for three. Straight on three, no good. It was a bit short. Ryan Bradley comes down with the rebound, however, and he's off the glass and good and one.
Someone stop that man. Oh, my goodness.
Sounded like Kevin Harlan when that guy ran onto the field. I think it was last year.
Someone stop. No, I don't have his voice. I don't think I can pull that off.
Somebody
he is running. He is drunk.
Somebody ran on. Yes, that is. Somebody ran onto the field. The 49ers Los Angeles Rams to open the Monday night opener last game as Bradley hits his remaining free throw, completes the three-point play.
And kisses goodbye as he makes his way away.
No love lost between these two schools for sure. Bradley loves to give it to the Marauder Rowdies, and the ball goes out of bounds off of, no, we're going to get a foul called rather. It's going to be a foul on John Evans, and Joes will shoot two. It'll be Jack Capon at the line. I apologize. It's 1-1 for Capon, not shooting two. Foul was called on the floor. 36.5 to go, third quarter. Canisius 65, St. Joe's 40. If you're just joining us, St. Joe's has fallen behind really since the beginning and has not been able to recover. And Jace Johnson for Canisius, got my words jumbled up a little bit. Jace Johnson has not played here tonight so far for Canisius. We'll see if he enters the game at some point. Capon's first is no good. And our great public address announcer, Bryce Hopkins, lied to us. The foul was a shooting foul. It is not 1-1 for Capon. It is two, as I originally had said. Capon misses his first, and here comes his second. Capon up and good.
That's what happens when you got a football coach, calling the game for us.
See, the real issue is I just tried to correct myself. I should just know I'm always right.
Of course. Don't doubt yourself, right?
Right, exactly. That was my mistake. Austin James looks like he can hold for close to the last shot. There's about a half a second difference between shot and game clock, so Canisius will look to run it all the way down. You're up by 24. As the third quarter winds down, Austin James with 8 seconds to go. Austin tried to make a pass to Trapper. He finds Trapper, and he could not go up and finish, but Trapper finds the ball.
Wow.
But he ran out of time. He got blocked either way. But Canisius cannot capitalize on that offensive rebound by Trapper. However, Canisius a 65-41 lead through three quarters, a 24-point lead in the fourth. St.
Joe's is very, very, very excited that Canisius didn't score that last bucket.
Well, they gotta.
Oh my goodness!
And they gotta take some small victories, and looks like a bit of a mass exodus from the Blue Crew, as most of the Blue Crew is heading out here. Three quarters in, fourth quarter still to play, and yet Canisius really trying to give it to St. Joe's by leaving.
I believe that's some kind of mockery, right? As we see almost the entire Blue Crew leave, just walk out, wave goodbye. Actually, like the Sound of Music at the end.
In fairness, It is a school night. It is late.
Yes.
The game started a little
to
bit
bed.
later than we thought.
Well, you know, Nick, I mean,
8:45
yeah.
here on the on the East Coast.
Well,
8:45 Eastern time.
well, you know, Nick, some of these guys do have to get home and study for their midterms, but you and I, we're just going to wing it tomorrow, right?
Well, maybe we'll get a little studying in later, but we've done a little. At least that's what I tell everyone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, well, I've done a little bit. Hopefully, Miss Turpek-Endress helps us out with not so hard an exam. Ryan Bradley, a beautiful cut to the basket and a nice pass from Jamison. Bradley had a look at the basket, but was fouled as he went up, so Bradley will shoot 2.
Fouls charged to St. Joe's number 10, Kevin Durkin.
Foul is charged to Kevin Durkin, his 4th. So some foul trouble to look out for Durkin and St. Joe's. Bradley's first is up and good. And a much quieter gym after the Blue Crew has left for the most part.
You're a pin drop in here now.
Right. Bradley's second is a little bit too strong and no good. Ball rattles out of bounds, and St. Joe's will get possession. Jeremy Johnson looking to possibly make a game of it, looking to spark what would be a fantastic and one of the greatest comebacks in St. Joe's history if they can get it going here. And Keith Norwood rather looks to start that with a bucket and a foul. He's going to get a 3-point play opportunity.
Fouls charged to Canisius number 24,
Trapper is called for the foul and will exit. John Evans will come in.
Substitution for the Crusaders, now entering number 34, John Evans. Keith Norwood, shooting 2.
Keith Norwood will shoot 2 for St. Joe's. 66-43. And, of course, all credit to Coach Hopkins, but he screwed me up again. It is 1 shot for Norwood. Got to start listening to him if he's going to feed me wrong information over the loudspeaker. Norwood is good and completes the 3-point play. Austin James now travels up the court into the front court for Canisius. He'll take a fadeaway jump shot, about a 17-footer, and nails it. As Coach Hop calls it, a stop and pop. A 3-point attempt for Johnson is way too strong. An air ball, in fact. Rebound, if you can call it that, by Jamison. Jamison goes through the lane off the glass, uncontested and good. A nice job of carrying the ball coast to coast, and Jamison gets himself on the board on the score sheet. Capin now a wild shot, no good, and Austin James the rebound for Canisius. James finds McDonald, a beautiful backdoor cut and a nice pass from Austin James. And a timeout is called by St. Joe's. Canisius 72, St. Joe's 44. A full timeout, and Canisius is really taking control of this game. Now I see why the Blue Crew left.
Right, yeah, and Joe's is starting to come in with a full court defensive press here, and Canisius is totally unfazed by it. I mean, we just saw Joe Jamison go down the entire court with ease, and Austin James a couple possessions before that stand right in front of all the defenders at the top of the key and just put it down. So, I mean, unfazed by this Joe's defense, and it's been like that this entire second half.
You can tell that the Canisius players were ready to go here tonight.
And here comes the exodus.
Oh, my.
One Joe fan, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Rowdy's also
8,
given up on
9,
the effort.
10, 11. I'm going to keep the count going. 12, 13, get him, Andy. 14, 15, get him, Andy. 16, get him, Andy. Show him what you're made of. 17, 18, 19, 20, get him, Andy. Get him, Andy. Get him, Andy. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, Casey Kelly, 33, 34.
These guys are killing me. I can't see the game now. St. Joe's makes a basket. It went off the glass and good. It was Jeremy Johnson who hit it. I couldn't see the play. And a nice backdoor cut and a beautiful pass comes from Austin James to Connor McCaffrey.
The final number is 37. Goodbye.
37. Good thing it wasn't 47.
Oh, man, no one else gets that.
St. Joe's comes the other way. Kappen gets fouled on his way to the basket.
DeLuca, if I were to ask you how many stars are on the flag, what would you say?
Well, I thought it was 50, but I don't know. Maybe you got something else.
13 colony, so 13 by 50 at got 47. A lot of people think that I don't know how many stars are on the flag now. It's just a joke, folks. There are 50.
Capin's first free throw attempt is no good.
Casey Kelly may be leaving right now, but his shoe game is strong. Look at those things. Got some nice bright blue Jordans. Jeez.
Second one for Capin is good. Ish Fairclough has checked into the game and will control the offense for Canisius. Passes to Joe Jamison. John Evans, who's had a great night, looks to post up. Fairclough. Nice pass to Ryan Bradley inside and an easy layup off the glass. Ryan Bradley has 28 points here tonight.
Wow.
And don't tell Ryan Bradley that Canisius was supposed to win this game by a lot and that he didn't need to play hard, because Ryan Bradley has had a fantastic night here tonight. Here
Speaking
comes Bradley
of Ryan
in transition
oh my
after
goodness.
a Canisius steal, and Bradley is up to 30. He's dropped 30 on the St. Joe's Marauders here. And Bradley still keeps working on the defensive end. A steal for Bradley. He runs in transition. A nice pass to McDonald. Back to Bradley off the glass. And good. And Ryan Bradley just keeps scoring.
Clinic.
32 now.
Absolute clinic.
Here's a shot by Gordon. No good. It was perhaps deflected, but Gordon tried to get it back, and he hit it out of bounds rather, and Canisius will get possession here up by 33.
Yeah, wow. Oh, my goodness.
80-47,
Just like that.
5:07 to go.
Now we've even got some Joe's parents leaving.
Wow.
Goodbye. Wow. It's really clearing out. The atmosphere has totally changed.
Yes, it is. Canisius has done a great job as they sub in to get maybe some of their juniors a little more playing time. Ish Fairclough still in there, off the glass and good. He makes a nice move to the basket. Hartnett, Ingrando, and Jason Martin check in for Canisius, perhaps looking to create some more experience and some playing time for the younger guys on the team. Here comes a shot by Norwood. Keith Norwood is good for St. Joe's. Fairclough moves the ball into the front court for Canisius. Moves to Hartnett, and now Ingrando. Fairclough on the near wing. Looks to create some space, and a shot finds Jason Martin, who's got some room.
Yeah, J. Mart.
And hits the three, but we're going to get an offensive foul before the three went down. A traveling violation on Ish Fairclough before he made the pass. So the remaining, should we call it 15 members of the Blue Crew, really trying to fire everybody up. St. Joe's now on the near wing. It is Santino Martone looking to make a play and got it taken away. Here comes Hartnett the other way for Canisius. Andrew Hartnett, a nice cross-court pass to Ish Fairclough. Now Jason Martin looks to drive a step back, and the jumper is way off the mark. He had the step back, just didn't have the jump shot to finish. And an errant pass from Keith Norwood will go out of bounds, and Canisius will get possession of the basketball.
Ooh.
Oh, nice job to get open from Ish Fairclough to get the inbounds pass. Ish looks to drive, makes a nice move, and is a little bit too strong on the finish, but he does a nice job of sticking with it and gets the rebound, and will get fouled on his way to the basket. And in the process of shooting, he was. So Ish will go to the line and shoot two.
You think when you see someone like Ryan Bradley playing so intensely and dominantly that it kind of inspires the rest of the players on his team to play with that same almost anger. You know, we watched We watched Ish Fairquell just do that underneath the boards, really taking over and saying, this is my key, Joes.
Absolutely. Fairclough misses the second. He missed both. And a pass from Ingrando is a little bit errant, and St. Joe's comes the other way. A basket there for Hazma Abdul Rahman. A tough name to pronounce for any announcer. That one gave you a little bit of trouble. Jason Martin now at the other end for Canisius. Into John Evans, and Ingrando got a good look but could not finish. John Evans still working, and Hartnett is able to clean up everybody's mess, and Andrew Hartnett's got his first points of the game, picking up a rebound and going off the glass and in. Martone moves to Pat McCann. Now over to Keith Norwood, who will chuck up a three-pointer that is no good. Rebound Canisius. Andrew Hartnett now moving in transition for the Crusaders. Hartnett makes a move to the basket, but cannot finish on the jump hook. St. Joe's in transition. Abdul Rahman, a nice pass to number 20, Santino Martone, for the finish. 84-53, Canisius leads St. Joe's here with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Jason Martin went up and was fouled.
Yeah, Jay Martin.
So Jason will go to the line. John, of course, was happy to see Jason Martin play against Cathedral Prep a couple weeks back when Canisius beat Prep handily. Canisius is doing the same to St. Joe's here tonight, as J. Mart's first is a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I think Jason's going to play a really large role on this team next year. You see him come in and play at the end of some of these games, and he could play during the game, no problem. He's a heck of an athlete.
He makes his second. Jason, especially, you can tell, has really developed his shooting here early in his career as a junior. He's really a good shooter. Maybe bulking up and developing more of a post game or an inside game would help him, but as St. Joe's hits a bucket, Keith Norwood, as they've cut the lead to 30 here inside 2 minutes. But Jason certainly does project, I agree with you, John, as being an important piece for the Canisius puzzle going into next season. An errant pass from Ingrando is tipped away by Abdur Rahman.
I think some people don't realize how competitive this Canisius high school depth chart is.
For sure.
You know, I could see Jason starting on any other team around here.
Right, absolutely. John Evans got a good look and finishes again. John Evans,
14 points.
Has done a great job. 14 points here off the bench for a guy who probably doesn't score a ton. He hasn't averaged maybe a little bit over 3 points a game, but he certainly showed up here tonight and has done a great job for Canisius, providing some rebounding help and finishing on the offensive end as well. An errant pass from Martone will go out of bounds. It'll be Canisius basketball after St. Joe's got an offensive rebound. Hartnett now, as we come up upon a minute in tonight's contest. Canisius 87, St. Joe's 55, as Canisius will run out the clock here. Ish Fairclough tried to finish, but could not. It'll go off of him and out of bounds. St. Joe's will now grab possession. Canisius a 32-point lead, and this was maybe sort of towards more the game we expected to see later.
For sure.
You know, the number one team in New York State playing a maybe weak, or 5-6 anyway. Their record says they're weak. They put up a pretty good fight, certainly in the first half. But a 5-6 St. Joe's team that you can tell just could not handle all the firepower that Canisius threw at them in the first quarter without Jace Johnson even playing here tonight.
Right.
Half a minute to go. St. Joe's still with the ball. 10 to shoot. Ingrando with a nice block.
I thought that was a good block.
Of Pat McCann, but apparently a foul is called. Ingrando did not like that call.
No, I didn't either. I agree with him.
McCann's first free throw from the line is no good. He was short. McCann's second rattles out as well, so he misses 2 from the free throw line. Canisius with a shot clock turned off. Perhaps a chance to dribble it out. Ish Fairclough passes to Hartnett, intercepted by Galvin, so maybe one last chance for St. Joe's to get a bucket. A shot is no good, and we're going to get a foul called here with 3 seconds remaining in tonight's contest. Canisius, I think it's safe to say, is going to hold on to win this one. They're up
I think
87-55 with 3 seconds to go. I like their chances at this point.
Yeah, I think Canisius was trying to show a little bit of respect at the end of the game here, trying to just dribble along the outside, and Joe's came after him a little bit. So, maybe a little more fire in these last 3 seconds from Canisius.
Maybe. Hartnett's first free throw, no good. Maybe perhaps something to look forward to for the next time that these teams will meet at St. Joe's on Kenmore Avenue. Hartnett's second free throw is up and good.
A different environment, different game.
They meet February 13th. And that is it, as St. Joe's will dribble it out, and Canisius will win 88-55. A strong effort from the Crusaders in a rivalry game, perhaps doing what they were supposed to, and what an effort by Ryan Bradley, among others, a 32, 34 point
I believe
performance.
It was 32-point
32-point performance. What a job by Ryan Bradley tonight, who really just did a great job of taking over the game, and what a game it was. A great job of Canisius to show up, and we get some fans over here.
Yes,
come
we
over,
always have fans, you know. All right, Nick, I think it's about that time to present the, I was going to say Gatorade Player of the Game, but I do have to mention our sponsors. So, yes, our Spark Notes Player of the Game. I think it's only appropriate that we be sponsored by Spark Notes because it saves us on pretty much every assignment ever.
Well,
so, even though our teachers tell us it won't. So,
I've never read Spark Notes.
Your Spark Notes Player of the Game, go.
My Spark Notes Player of the Game is a bit of an unsung hero, but he played fantastic against Timon and carried it over tonight. John Evans.
Ah, that was mine. All right. So tell me why. Let's hear it.
All right, so I apologize. I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but John Evans is a guy who has battled injuries dating back to last year and maybe hasn't played as big a role as he would have liked so far this season, but his effort and just doing a great job on the offensive and defensive boards, just doing a great job on the boards and working hard and then transitioning those into points has really been an added bonus and has done a fantastic job for Canisius and did a fantastic job here tonight. And if they can get him going and can have Trapper shooting the way he did against Timon and you know, moving his range back to sort of the three-point line and doing a good job there, maybe Chase Johnson can find his way back into the lineup in the next time that we see the Canisius Crusaders play.
See him, yeah.
I'm sure we will see him. And, you know, still Austin James being Austin James and Nick McDonald being Nick McDonald. And I haven't even gotten to Ryan Bradley, who scored 32 points here tonight.
Well,
I think that's going to be something that's going to make them really hard to stop. So a great job. Hats off to you tonight, John Evans. Great job on the boards.
Yes.
And a great job. Just really great effort. Good job, John
Evans. I totally agree with you. And John Evans was he was going to be my guy. You know, 14 points
tonight.
Our guys. Yes, 14 points tonight, 10 points against Timon. I think it's a little vision of more to come.
Right.
Yeah, I played with John Evans back in the freshman days, and I can still tell you that John is a fierce competitor, and once he realizes that he can start getting going here, I mean, he is going to be one heck of a player for this team. So, John Evans, I agree with you that he is the player of the game. Now, the reason I picked John Evans was because I was assuming that you were going to pick, I was assuming that you were going to pick someone like Ryan Bradley. And you didn't.
Well, I mean,
so my player of the game is Ryan Bradley.
Okay.
30-plus points tonight and an absolute animal on the boards. You could not stop Ryan Bradley. So my player of the game is Ryan Bradley. I heard Coach Robbins standing behind me talking. I heard people over here talking. I heard people over there talking.
There were a lot of people in the gym talking.
Everyone was talking. We were talking. But
I
heard everyone talking, and they were saying, "What? Joe's can't stop this guy."
No, they couldn't.
And it's not just Joe's.
Right.
You know, I called that Ron DeCoy game with you.
Right.
I called that Cathedral Prep game with you, and I listened to the calling of that Timon game. You could not stop him.
Right.
Couldn't stop him. They want Mr. Coppola to do a game. The one person says.
Can we do 3?
We could do a trio, Mr. Coppola. We could.
If you find another headset, I don't know if I'm giving mine up, so you're going to have to work on that one. But We'll see. We'll see if we can fit him into a future broadcast. We'll see. Not promising anything because I don't own a third headset, so we'll see if he can get that done for himself. I apologize. I thought you would go with the obvious choice of Ryan Bradley at 32 points.
Exactly.
And however many rebounds and however all over the gym can be measured, but he was all over the gym, and a fantastic effort for Ryan Bradley here tonight as well. So we'll go John Evans and Ryan Bradley for our Spark Notes.
Our Spark Notes play of the game. I do have to just
game.
let you know that we have no affiliation with Spark Notes, and they are not a sponsor. But,
and we
but,
would
but
never
we love
use,
you, Spark
and
Notes.
we would never use Spark Notes
we would
at all.
Never
Never
use
would
you.
do that.
But wink, wink, we love you, Spark
right,
Notes. So
we would never do
our
that,
Spark Notes players of the game, congratulations to John Evans and Jake Bradley. Oh, Jake Bradley. I'm sorry, Ryan Bradley. Jake Bradley, shout out, who went to Canisius about 2 years ago, graduated. Right. No, last year. Went to Canisius last year and graduated. Jake, I hope you're doing well. Ryan Bradley and John Evans, congratulations, Spark Notes player of the game. Nick, anything else you want to say about the game?
No, I got relatively nothing. So a great effort and a great job of Canisius handling business here on home floor and beating a team that they probably should have beat. Canisius gets their 10th win on the season, moves to 10-1. St. Joe's drops to 5-7, an 88-55 victory for Canisius.
We were trying to find a word that was
like
victory's not enough to describe this
I
game.
don't think victory would be. It was a great victory. It
Yes.
was very impressive, very inspiring. And Canisius did a fantastic job here tonight of handling their business. And again, an 88-55 decision for John Minogue. I am Nick DeLuca. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We will see you again soon. Thank you for joining us.
Stay classy.